Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Premium Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2021 Nissan Rogue Sport. The CURT Premium is a hanging style bike rack that's going to hold onto our bikes by the top tube, as well as an anti-sway cradle on the other side. It's going to be able to support up to 180 pounds total, but because it does make contact with the frame on the top, if you want to use this with your carbon frame bikes, we'd recommend against it. It does have a nice taper towards the end to accommodate kids' bikes if you're going to be taking those out to the trail, but if you have an alternative style bike, you might need to pick up a bike adapter bar to make it work. Let's check out how the rack works on this car. The rack does have the ability to tilt away, but to do that we're going to have to get the bikes removed, so we'll show you that first. I'll just start by removing these rubber straps here, just like this. And then the anti-sway strap as well. I will point out that if this front tire were to rotate fully, it would make contact with our vehicle, so it's always a decent idea to pick up some stabilizing straps just to keep that tire connected to the frame. But I can get this bike off now, just guiding it through the arms. Most of the bikes that you'll be able to put on here are going to be pretty lightweight, so it's not too bad to get it off. With the bike removed, as I replace these straps, I do just kind of want to point out the cradles have the ability to rotate to form some different shapes to accommodate some different frames. Also, you can see that they do have these grooves in the middle of them. That's just for your bike's brake line. It'll sit in there instead of just being pressed on the whole time while you're driving. So get the straps back in place, and now we can get some measurements to see what it's like on the back of your vehicle if we just leave it in this position. So from the bumper to the furthest point back, it's going to be sticking out quite a bit. So if I go straight down from here, it's going to be close to 38 inches of added length to an already decently long vehicle. So that's something you're going to want to be mindful of as far as parking or storing it. But we can fold these arms down to save a little bit of that space. To do that, we'll start with this clip here at the end. Just pop that out, pull this pin, and drop the arms down. Now we'll find where that hole lines up again, replace the pin and the clip on the other side, and now we can get that new measurement to see how much space we've saved. So from the bumper to the furthest point out now, it's going to be one of these, or it's actually going to be the bottom of the rack. It's going to come in at just over 11 inches, so we save quite a bit of space, well over half, when we fold it up in this position. In this position, it doesn't cover up a ton on the back of our vehicle, but it does cover up some important things. So from straight on, your license plate is going to be pretty heavily obstructed. There are definitely windows where you can see through it, but your backup camera is right here, which goes right in this little area here, so you might have some visibility out of there, but it's going to be heavily blocked as well, and you're definitely going to be knowing that this rack is back there. Because it sits in the middle though, it doesn't interfere with our taillights at all. You're probably going to be able to see the top of it out of the rear window when it's like this, but if you have your bikes loaded up, they're going to be really visible out of your back window. We can tilt the rack away to get into our hatch area. First, I'm going to have to loosen this knob down here at the bottom, which will allow me to take this clip off and then pull this pin on the other side. Now we'll lift up on this handle and it tilts away. It tilts pretty aggressively, so now we have tons of room if we want to. We can get in the back. It only sits in the middle, so we have plenty of room on either side if we want to sit down, change our shoes before or after our ride, and we can get anything out of the back that we might need. Close this up, get this back into place. I'll have to lift up on this handle again to guide that back into the hole, and then we'll have to put this pin back in, and then we'll replace this clip on the other side. And we can tighten down this knob down here on the bottom again, just to fully secure everything. There are cable locks available for this rack. They're not included, but you can get them separately. Here's the little anchor point if you want somewhere to run those through. But we can come down now to the shank. The rack here uses a 2-inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver. It's held in place by this anti-rattle bolt, as well as a clip on the end, but you can upgrade that to a locking pin as well for a little bit of added security. Overall, the CURT Premium is a really solid entry-level way to get 4 bikes up to 180 pounds where you need them to go. I do like that it tapers at the end, because if you have 4 bikes you're trying to get somewhere, there's a good chance you're bringing your family along, which means you might have a couple of kids' bikes, so that helps without the need to get a bike adapter bar. It tilts really aggressively away, which is nice to get into the hatch, but there are a lot of pinch points. Pretty much everything we need to move is a pin and a clip, which gets a little bit annoying to deal with sometimes, I know for sure. So one of the benefits of this is that if you want to take it off and store it, it doesn't take up a ton of space. But if you don't need a lot of storage, or that's not an issue for you, you can check out something like the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 bike rack. It's a lot bulkier, but I think it holds onto the bikes more securely, and I think it's just a little bit easier to work with. So you can check that out if you want to. If you like the hanging style bike racks, the CURT Premium is still definitely a really solid choice. This again was just a quick look at how the CURT Premium fits on a 2021 Nissan Rogue Sport.